This is the QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studio on Karaba Avenue, and I am Jules Denjai. Thank you for joining us. Here are the main news headlines. The Gambian government, in collaboration with the Secretariat of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, today began the hosting of the 81 Ordinary Session of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights. On Wednesday, the Accountant General appeared before the Finance and Public Accounts Select Committee, FPAC, to update them on the steps taken to recover the government's pending impress. And a sensitization retreat was held for members of the National Assembly's key committees on Thursday to enhance their understanding of the newly signed port concession agreement between the GPA and the Albarak Group. In international news, the Belt and Road Forum for International Think Tank Cooperation and the Second Silk Road International Communication Forum has wrapped up in Xi'an, China. In sports news, the Gambian national basketball male and female U-under-17s teams are intensifying training ahead of a 3x3 basketball tournament in Senegal in November 2024. These and other stories coming ahead. Do stay tuned. Thank you very much for staying with us. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News. Now, the Gambian government, in collaboration with the Secretariat of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, today began the hosting of the 81 Ordinary Session of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights at the Sadauda Kairaba Jawara International Conference Center. Let's have more details of that in this report by Lamin Alaji Funding Dabo.
The 20-day session is organized for human rights organizations in various countries to report on the progress made in their respective countries, as well as share common ideas. The theme of the forum is the Year of Education, Educate an African Fit for the 21st Century. Dauda A. Jallo, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice for the Republic of the Gambia, presided over the opening of the event on behalf of the country's leadership. The event will be attended by representatives from human rights institutions from across Africa, including the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights, the African Committee of Experts on the Rights and Welfare of the Child, African Court on Human and People's Rights, Pan-African Parliament, states parties to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, non-governmental organizations, NGOs, and a cross-section of religious leaders, as well as Africa's international partners, such as the European Union, among others. We will bring a more detailed report in tomorrow's QTV Nightly News. Lamin Alaifandin Dabo reporting.
Now, on Wednesday, the Accountant General appeared before the Select Committee on Finance and Public Accounts, FPAC, to update them on steps taken to recover pending imprest in the country. Let's have more details of that in this report by Lamin Alaji Funding Dabo.
An imprest is a financial arrangement where a fixed amount of money is set aside for specific expenses, usually for a designated period or project. In government, it is a fund of cash from which a ministry, department, or other unit pays incidental expenses, topped up periodically from central funds. It can also be an advance from government funds for the performance of some public business or service. In her presentation, Agnes Macaulay, the Accountant General, discussed the financial recoveries made and outlined the total outstanding balance.
We have fully recovered or retired 8,913,003.50 bututs. These were retirements received from individuals with outstanding impress. We have an outstanding amount of impress of $21,726,841.80 bututs.
Honorable Alaji Mbow emphasized the actions to be taken before the Select Committee's next meeting with the Accountant General's team.
Just want to ensure that we exhaust everything. First, it was published on solicited publication by the media, which was fine. But now, officially, we want to ask you to officially publish those names on the newspapers with the amount, the dates, and where they work. And we call them for the last time that they are required to come and retire the impress within 30 days. Otherwise, then legal action will be taken.
During the discussions, FPAC members unanimously agreed that the Accountant General's office should categorize names from the general list as follows: deceased individuals, those currently on the government payroll, and those no longer on the payroll but still living. As discussions progressed, the Accountant General sought clarification on recovery methods applicable to deceased individuals. Honorable Alaji S. Dabo, Chairman of the Finance and Public Accounts Committee, provided insights based on the committee's consensus on this issue.
The onus lies on the plenary to decide what to do, whether they should pay or their families should pay or otherwise. That's for the plenary to decide. But we need to extract that. And then the ones that now we have identified that they are in the payroll or they have been reinstated, that can now fall under payroll. And they can be communicated to that deduction should be effective.
At the conclusion of the session, the Accountant General and her team were scheduled to return on Wednesday, October 23, 2024 at 2 p.m. to present their final list. This list will enable FPAC members to submit their findings at a later date during the National Assembly's plenary for further advice. For QTV News, I am Lamin Alaifandindawo.
Now, on Thursday, a sensitization retreat was held for members of the National Assembly's key committees to enhance their understanding of the newly signed port concession agreement between the Gambia Ports Authority and the Alberak Group. Loli M. Kamara covered the opening session and reports on the proceedings.
The retreat aims to ensure that key legislative members are well informed about the terms and implications of the concession agreement. Stakeholders discussed the long-term impacts of the concession on Gambia's maritime sector, trade and overall national economy. This agreement grants the Turkey-based Alberak Group operational rights over key areas of the Gambia's primary seaport, prompting public discourse regarding its potential benefits and challenges. Usman Jabate, Managing Director of the Gambia Ports Authority, underscored the port's vital role in the country's socio-economic development.
Understanding that the investment that is envisaged in this port infrastructure improvement is by far the largest foreign direct investment in the country ever. The importance of the Port Authority in terms of the service provision as a major catalyst for socio-economic development cannot be overemphasized. It will be realized that 80% of the country's international trade, both in terms of volume and value, transits through the Port of Banjul.
Yaya Sanyang, Chair Select Committee on Project Monitoring, and Lamin Sise, Chair on Trade, praised the initiative, emphasizing the importance of transparency, competitiveness, and accountability in managing public assets.
The committee was also very mindful. We emphasized to them everything we do as public officials should be in the best interest of this country. We said that is why the president take oath, the ministers take oath, National Assembly members take oath, permanent secretaries, and all the principals, position holders of the government do take oath.
It's left to us to talk to the public, to sensitize them. Those of us who know the content of the project, who know the content and what prevails out there in the field, to talk to the public so that they understand fully.
Participants raised concerns about the sustainability of the agreement, environmental factors, and the long-term economic benefits for local communities. Almame Jiba, the NAM for Fonyi Councillor, and Abdullah Njai, the NAM for Banjul Central, raised these concerns.
How do you people arrive at the 30 years period of this consensus? What must have informed? We've also made our investigation outside. In Somalia, Alberta has also got involved in it, and Guinea-Conakry, and other countries. But it didn't materialize where in Somalia it had an issue where they had to, IMF had to intervene, where they go up to an agreement of a 14 years period. We don't want such issues to arrive into that.
Have valuations been done with regards to that, or the authority is working towards that?
MD Jabate responded to their concerns.
On the side of the document to be submitted, we've taken note and we will oblige accordingly. On the side of the control, the rest assured, Honorable, we are part of the board and the management, and certain decisions cannot be taken without our involvement. So that's the control element.
National Assembly members are expected to maintain ongoing oversight of the implementation, ensuring that the promised benefits are realized while addressing any challenges that arise. For QTV News, Lolly M. Kamara.
A week ago, on Wednesday, flooding, which followed heavy rainfall, caused extensive destruction in parts of the Lower River region. Our regional correspondent, Bakari Balde, visited some affected communities and spoke to some flood victims. This is his report.
Houses have collapsed, belongings have been washed away, and affected families worried about what to do next, having been left homeless. The devastating rainfall, which lasted for 4 hours, was the first of its kind in this year's rainy season in the region. We visited Sare Brand village and spoke to Abdurrahman Sise and Dauda Kamara, who told us how the flood affected them and their families.
The water got stagnant in my compound, which caused the collapse of part of my house. The waterway along the perimeter wall also got stuck and had nowhere to flow to. My house is made of mud, and it is not solid enough to withstand such water damage. I was inside the house when I noticed the wall showing signs of collapsing, and I rushed my family outside, and within a minute the wall did collapse. For now, we have no place to stay. Our older children are currently hosted by neighbors in the village, while my small children, my wife and I are occupying their only house. That is the situation we are.
We also visited Soma Darussalam, where we found Nene Diba, another flood victim, with her friends who came to offer assistance. She explained how the flood invaded the entire compound and the destruction that resulted.
Every year we encounter flooding. The waterway and bridge constructed at the new market is very small, which was full to such an extent that the water could not pass through and ended up bringing down our compound perimeter wall. The water got into my house while I was inside with my family. The house was filled with water. We struggled to bail it out, but to no avail. Many of our belongings were washed away, including my clothes, rice, children's books. Everything got wet, and I was rescued by neighbors.
Yima Kinte, Nene's neighbor, pleaded for support.
Throughout the previous night, till daybreak, we were helping. I am also appealing to anyone who can construct a house for them, which will be good, because they are in a very sad mood at the moment.
Sidat Kinte, a second-hand cloth businessman from Pakalindi village, who said $80,000 worth of materials was destroyed from his shop, also spoke to us.
We were not expecting such destruction when we see the dark clouds, or hoping the downpour would not be too heavy. However, as it continued raining, it became heavier, and the waterway was blocked by a collapsed house that brought the water around the back and invaded our shops and destroyed a lot of materials.
Muskeba Dabo, a businesswoman, said if it was not for the help she received from friends and neighbors, most of her shop items would have been taken away by the flood. For now, the affected families we spoke to pleaded for rapid intervention from the government, the National Disaster Management Agency, local authorities, and any donors. Bakari Balde, QTV News.
Our Our thoughts and prayers are with the family during these trying times. That report there by Bakari Balde will take us to a commercial break. When we return, we have more local, international and sports news stories for you. Do stay tuned.
Welcome to the future of transportation in the Gambia. The Bertel-Harding Highway, a 22-kilometer double carriageway, is set to revolutionize travel and connectivity in our beloved country. The Bertel-Harding Highway is transforming transportation in the Gambia with new roundabouts and vehicular overpasses. But safety must come first. Standing along the road or at roundabouts to flag down taxis creates unsafe conditions and unnecessary traffic jams. Remember, always board taxis at designated taxi garages or the garas located at major traffic points. Drivers stopping in no stopping zones will be penalized. Let's keep our roads clear and safe. Together, we can ensure a safe and efficient journey for all.
Q Money and Orange Money has just made money transfer easier. Now you can send money from Gambia to Senegal directly from your Q Money wallet. So what are you waiting for? Get your Q Money account now and start sending money to your friends and families through Orange Money in Senegal now. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. If you're just tuning in, this is QTV News, and now to the rest of our stories. In an era where innovation dominates the business sector, young Gambian entrepreneurs are finding ways to harness business opportunities that can reshape their future and contribute to the nation's growth by staying home. Usman Jatta gauged the views of 3 outstanding entrepreneurs who shared their journeys and the principles that fuel their growth.
Several children of the Gambia have embarked on illegal journeys to Europe in the hope of finding better opportunities without trying to make it in their own country's underutilized business sector. Despite these trends, some Gambians are making headway in the business sector. Fadu Senjai is the founder and chief executive officer of Gainjoro Skills Academy, a professional training skills center for disadvantaged people. Like many successful Gambian entrepreneurs, Fatu began her business journey with minimal resources, focused and most significantly, determined to be successful.
Let them believe in themselves. If you believe in yourself and believe in the capacity that you're in, you can grow to any level, but start where you can and grow with that. They shouldn't want to do a big thing when they cannot be there, but start small and grow big. The vision can be very big and clear, but as they start small within their capacity, they can grow up with that vision up to the level that they want to be. Believing in yourself is what I would leave with the young people.
Statistics confirm that 60% of the country's population are young people, highlighting the country's future prospects if young people are empowered. Saul Fraser, the chief executive officer of Global Properties, believes passion is the cornerstone of any successful business venture.
Key thing is always to find your passion and follow it to the longest, to as far as you can go. Because once you do that, everything else will come around it. Now, if you're doing something that you're not passionate about, the likelihood of you going the extra mile to make it work will be very difficult. But you want to have a reason to wake up in the morning and follow your passion and follow your dream to become independent and take care of yourself and your family.
The 2023 GBOS Labour Force Survey, the youth labour force participation rate is around 15 points below that of adults, 38.1% compared to 53.5%. Additionally, the report also reveals that the youth unemployment rate is 3 times the corresponding adult rate of 10.5% and 3.8% respectively, and that almost half of the youths are underutilized. Modu NSZ Njai, the founder and chief executive officer of Farm Fresh, an online food store that sells farm produce by connecting farmers with retailers, highlighted the importance of patience in business.
Patience is really key to run a business, and you have to be determined, you have to be a go-getter, you have to be someone who doesn't take no for an answer, and you really need to be focused and disciplined. And if you have these qualities, and then prayers and a little bit of luck, definitely you will succeed. And just remain focused and follow your passion.
Saul Fraser, Fatu Njai and Modu Z.S. Njai are living proof that determination and the right mindset, youth can not only navigate the challenges of entrepreneurship, but also thrive and innovate in their fields. Osman Jata reporting for QTV News.
That report there will take us to news beyond our borders in a moment. Now, the Belt and Road Forum for International Think Tank Cooperation and the Second Silk Road International Communication Forum has wrapped up in Xi'an, China. These forums are part of efforts to build an international cooperation platform to promote cultural exchanges and mutual learning. Jennifer Sonko was among the journalist representatives at the forum, and this is her report.
The forum brought together former politicians, think tank scholars, diplomats, media professionals and other representatives from BRI partner countries. The Road and Belt Initiative was named after the Silk Road in Xi'an, in recognition of which the Silk Road International Communication Forum was held in Xi'an. The Belt and Road Initiative is China's initiative to improve connectivity between China, Asia and Europe by stimulating economic trade, growth and foster regional integration. South Africa was the first country to sign the Belt and Road Memorandum of Understanding in 2015, which brought about significant outcomes for both states. Ayanda Nuzili, editor of the Daily News in South Africa, shares with me how far he wants the Belt and Road Initiative to go.
Issues that we're grappling with in South Africa, it's lack of access to education, for example, and lack of access to healthcare facilities. So if we, as South Africans, through China-Africa cooperation, can look at a way of providing a complex railway network that interconnects our tertiary institutions to make traveling to receive an education very, very easy and very, very cheap, then also do the same for health. Then what happens is you have a society that is highly educated and one that is also very healthy.
Antigua Barbuda and other Caribbean countries are also signatories to the BRI. Antigua Barbuda's MOU targets roads, bridges, civil aviation, ports, energy and telecommunications. Here is Petra Williams, a journalist from Antigua Barbuda.
Part of our mission in the Caribbean, Antigua and Barbuda, is to become the logistics hub for our sub-region, the OECS. And so through the work done, through the Belt and Road Initiative, again, we were able to get practically a brand new seaport. And so we have like triple the size of the space that we have. We've been able to put the facilities in place to offer enhanced logistics services and also to introduce IT into the whole storage and disembarkment and so on of cargo.
Through the Roads and Belts project, the Gambia has benefited from roads and bridges, particularly in the Upper River region. President Adama Barrow, during the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, delivered a statement during a high-level dialogue on BRI, centered on building a platform of modernization characterized by mutual consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits.
Significantly, too, BRI does not only enhance connectivity, but also benefit Africa's growth through various industries. In the Gambia, for instance, China's support in the implementation of the Greater Banjul Area Power Transmission and Distribution Modernization Project demonstrates the scope and developmental outlook of the initiative.
In 2019, the World Bank estimated that BRI transport infrastructure could increase trade by 2.8 to 9.7% for corridor economies and 1.7% to 6.2% for the world. Reporting for QTV News from Xi'an, China, I am Jennifer Sonko.
And up next is the sports news. The Gambian national basketball male and female under-17 teams are intensifying training ahead of a 3x3 basketball tournament in Senegal, which will run from the 7th to the 10th of November 2024. Our sports reporter Momodu Gajaga visited them at the Independence Stadium basketball court, and he now reports.
Undergoing rigorous training ahead of an invitation 3-on-3 basketball competition in Senegal in November. Basketball, like many other sports in the Gambia, is male-dominated. Very few girls play the sports. Zainab Mboob, a young player who is passionate about the game, will be part of the female 3-on-3 basketball team and a FIBA tournament in Côte d'Ivoire. She says her love for the game.
I've been playing basketball for like ages, and I like the game, and my mother got me into this game. Yeah, she made me love basketball, and my sister as well. I am grateful representing the Gambia too. This being my first time going outside alone too, and it will be a great opportunity for me as well.
The male team, inspired by the talented player Fode Gorgisou, are hoping for a good competition in Senegal after their outstanding achievement in the Zone 2 Amilcar Cabral Under-21 basketball tournament in Guinea-Bissau in September. Gorgi says this tournament will be good exposure for them.
It's a good initiative for us in the Gambia to go outside and represent the Gambia, because the Gambia, we lack the opportunity to go outside and participate. And this is a great idea and opportunity for us to show our talent, because there are great players over here in the Gambia. We just need the more exposures and all that stuff so we can execute our talent.
Badara Jeng, coach of the team, says he has been intensifying training for some weeks to ensure that his team is in good shape, and he has high expectations.
We prepare towards the competition for the Dakar Games, which is going to take place on the 6th to on the 10th of November. Yeah, as you can see, it's really intense right now, and the players are really getting ready for the event. The Gambian Basketball Federation, we've been representing the Gambia in the 3-on-3 competition for a while now, and most of these players have been trained with players who have experience when it comes to 3-on-3. We are really, really ready, and I'm sure that we have good results when we go to Senegal.
There is no doubting the passion and talent. However, basketball in the Gambia struggles with poor infrastructure, the lack of development programs for players, and strong league competition, which are some of the challenges hindering the growth of the sports. Mamadou Gajaga, QTV News.
We wish them all the best of luck. Well, this is all we have time for. Do join us again at 10 p.m. for another news bulletin. Thank you for watching.